mean, I was Christian for a while, so I would say that I'm fairly dogmatic, but I'm open. Those sound like opposites, but they're really not. Dogmatic just means you have high confidence that what you believe in is true. But openness means you're also like receptive to new information that could overturn it. So the spirit of being a skeptic or a scientist is to be both of those things at the same time. We shouldn't think the earth is flat. We shouldn't think that the earth is only a couple thousand years old. We shouldn't think that a wooden boat built by a 900-year-old man had 2 of every animal on it or something like that. Or 7 pairs of some of the other types. But if you have evidence, like we'll look at it, for example. So
Are you atheist or agnostic?
I'm both.
You're an agnostic atheist?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, people think that if you're an atheist, you proclaim that God does not exist, and that's not necessarily the case.
All right. So, are you open to the idea that the Bible could be allegories?
I have no problem with that, but that does, how do I want to say it? At the same time, that kind of undermines everything, because how are we supposed to tell what is and what is not an allegory? Well, you would appeal to probably like science or common sense or the historical record or whatever to determine, to be like, well, yeah, obviously that one was an allegory. But then you'll say, well, so Jesus metaphorically rose from the dead? That was just meant to represent something. Well, no, he actually rose from the dead. It's like, okay, well, rising from the dead or walking on water or whatever, none of that is any less silly than a boat built by a 900-year-old man. So it's just odd to me how we will appeal to like science and common sense or whatever to say like, well, no, it wasn't literally 6 days. But yes, he literally walked on water. I mean, if this book is about God and God doing things, then why have weak faith? Why not just throw in with the entire thing?
All right. You believe in the Big Bang, yes? How much would you say that you believe in the Big Bang? 100%?
I wouldn't. I don't see how you could possibly put a number on it. I'm highly confident in the work that the scientists have done to give us an age of billions of years for our universe.
All right. You say you're highly confident in that.
Yeah, same way I'm confident that my phone does not run on magic, but
Do you know
electromagnetism,
when,
even though I don't really know
when,
how a phone works at all.
all right, well, do you know when most scientists agreed upon this, the Big Bang?
Early 20th century, maybe closer toward like the middle to later parts.
So if this was 500 years ago, then you would lean towards all the scientists 500 years ago and think otherwise.
What? We didn't
You
have.
just now told me that you're pretty confident because most scientists agree upon, and I'm telling you that back then, most scientists would have differed, so you would have agreed with something else back then.
There were very few scientists back then. Science was a new thing, and they were deeply ignorant. I have no problem saying, like, I get this argument that science changes, so why believe in it? I'm only telling you about things we are confident that we currently know. It's like, for example, only like 300 years ago, people insisted that, well, let's go back a little bit farther than that. Like before Columbus sailed to America, they knew that there must be this like landmass. Well, what was it? I can't remember the timeline. I think actually it was after they discovered America. Sorry about that. But they said there must be a landmass in between Europe and North America. Not a very big one. It had a name. I don't remember what it is, but they said it must exist. And they had like these very bizarro justifications for it. Now we eventually learned that that's not the case after we like sailed the world and mapped it and things like that. So they were wrong, but they were wrong because they were trying to form an idea out of their ignorance and whatever intuitions they had. Now, a long time ago, before we had good technology and before we were doing any kind of serious science, people had intuitions about the way things must be, and those intuitions were most commonly influenced by religion, right? And that's kind of the biggest reason why most of what they said was wrong. Now, today, because we have the technology and because we really know what we're doing, we have a lot of confidence in saying that in specific claims. So just because the science has changed doesn't necessarily mean that in the future we should assume nothing is true because in the future it could be disproven or whatever. That just seems
Yeah,
silly.
all right. Okay, so okay. Well, might I ask you a question and then show you the relevance of it after?
I don't care. You can do whatever you want.
All right. Well, do you believe that non-binary people are real, or do you think that that's made up?
Do I believe that non-binary people are real, or do I
Like
think
that
that's
there's
whether?
neurological things happening inside of people's brains that allow them to be neither male or female.
Well, now I don't know if you're talking about like biological sex or gender. So I would say with both of them, it's not. I would say it's probably bimodal, which means that there are exceptions built within there.
All right. Well, I was using that as an example because I know gender and sex are different, yes, but I don't necessarily think that someone's gender. Um, I don't like the idea of it being a construct or being able to choose chemical imbalance, things like that. But that isn't what the mainstream thinks. That isn't what most scientists think. That isn't what people think, and that isn't a fact. And I don't necessarily agree with it. And I think very much so that I'm right, despite all these things. I think that you believe in things like you were just telling me, because the mass believes it. The mass people you deem to be the smartest believe it. Do you say that they go through trial and error to come to these conclusions? I mean, you say the same thing about non-binary. I've looked into those studies. I don't agree with them whatsoever. Um, I think that I think that I think that's very biased. I think it's very biased to say. I think that that's I don't know. I just don't think that you can even go through and look for it yourself, but I still don't think that it'll add up.
What are we talking about? So you just don't think that the Big Bang model is correct and accurate?
I think that it's just about as accurate as a god.
Why?
Why?
Yeah,
Well, because
why
humans
do
have
you
been
think
wrong.
that?
Well, dude,
What makes
less
you
than
think
20
that?
years ago.
Well, I could ask a
Because
different question.
people know
What makes you
nothing.
think
Less
that the
than 20 years
scientists have
ago.
this wrong?
Okay, dude, less than 20 years ago, we just took a planet off the map. Back in 2020, we just now had
It's
the
just
best
reclassified,
theory
was all.
reclassified. But what if things get reclassified again and they don't really suit your beliefs right now? So
So
let's
the
say,
definite, buddy, you are mixing up like definitions and like social constructs, I guess we can call it, with like you are mixing that up with observed physical, very simple phenomena such as like the expansion of the universe. That's not something where you get to decide how much redshift has occurred or what redshift really means. Like that is not subjective, or if it is, if it has some subjectivity to it, it is not at the level of, well, is Pluto a planet or not? Because there's no such thing as a planet except in the minds of humans. There is such a thing as space-time, and there is such a thing as objects in the universe moving through space-time, regardless of what we think. So I think you're mixing two wildly different things up in here.
no, I'm just
What do you
telling
mean, no?
you. I The only claim I've made was that I was agnostic. It's the only claim that I've made.
Yeah, and I asked you
Other
for
than
a
that,
justification, and your
I'm just
justification
asking you
was
questions.
really conflated subjectivity and objectivity
Justification
in
for
the
being.
natural sciences.
I never told you why I believe in agnosticism. I've only asked you questions about your beliefs.
Yeah, and I asked
I've
you
only
a
asked
question,
questions.
and your justification
What's
was
the
really faulty.
justification for what was the question?
why do you think the Big Bang model is inaccurate? And you said because we reclassified Pluto. And it's like
No, I
that's
didn't.
that's a that's a
No, I
category.
did. I
Yes,
said
that's
no.
literally
So
what
when you had
happened.
said, I said that as well, but it's not what you had said. Not for justification for why I'm agnostic. I told you that you asked me why I didn't believe in the Big Bang Theory. I said it's just as plausible as there being a God, is what I had said. And then when I was telling you about your things, I had mentioned why I don't think that you should believe a large mass of people coming to a different conclusion because just less than 20 years ago, we had taken Pluto off of the map. That does not correlate. That's not
Yeah, but
justification.
that's
The only claim that I had made was being agnostic. And I could further that if you would like me to. But I
that's
would
a
prefer you not
your
gaslight me.
Pluto example is a terrible example because that's just people coming up with it. They just categorized it differently. It didn't that the Big Bang being wrong. You'd have to overturn
I'm telling you.
the observations with like our observations of light in the universe. That's completely different than saying, well, let's just call this object a trans-Neptunian object instead of a planet.
All right.
You're
So,
mixing up quantitative and qualitative descriptors is what's happening.
I mean, you could believe every single thing. Because, religion in a sense is just interpretation of what we can all observe. You could believe everything that you believe and think of a God and believe in a God behind it. Simply if you get into depth of like quantum mechanics, stuff like that, gravity, or Fibonacci sequence, golden ratio, things of that nature. You could take things that you could observe and come to conclusions such as there being a God just as logically as you can that there can't. And but to believe in something because the mass amount of people believe in it, I don't know about that one. I don't think that's a good reason. I think that I mean if it appeals to you, then by all means, yeah. But I asked
I
you
think it
why. You
appeals
said,
to you
well, because
too.
most scientists. I said, well, because most scientists.
Yeah.
Does it appeal
So,
to me?
okay, so how do we ever learn new facts in science?
How do we learn new facts?
Yeah. In the field of science, how do we ever learn new facts? And how do we ever learn that?
Scientific method.
Sure. How do we ever learn that something that was previously thought in the scientific community turned out to be something else?
You said how many times?
No. How does that happen?
How does that happen?
Yeah.
They find out that they were wrong.
Well, it's through the scientific method, just like you said earlier, right? So when I say because the scientists have come to this conclusion, I'm not doing an ad populum fallacy or an appeal to authority fallacy or a bandwagon fallacy. It's because of the way science works. Like the odds that all the scientists are somehow making the same mistake is really preposterous. It's possible, but it does not rise to the level of likely.
So it's possible.
Yeah, but it does not rise to the level of likely because anything is possible.
I
But
appreciate
no
that.
rational person doubts every single thing. You
you
can
got
be
a theory, though, wouldn't you?
you can be open about it, but
Is the Big Bang a fact?
so I call like
You had just now said, how do things become a fact? The scientific method. You said the Big Bang is true.
not what I
Is it a
said.
fact or a theory? Well, you said it up there.
I would say it's both
It says in
because
bold letters the Big Bang is true.
yeah, I would say it's both. A theory is an accurate model, but I just call them facts to engage with people that say that it's not true because it's a theory,
Hey, I'm
which is
sorry.
very
I was
dumb.
getting a phone call. Can you repeat like the last 10 seconds? I was getting a phone call. I gotta.
I'll make it really simple. The Big Bang is a fact. Okay, can you hear me now?
It's not a fact.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's a theory.
So you're
I'm
saying
just
it is
lying.
not fact. So are you saying the Hubble-Lemaitre
Lie
law
through your
is?
teeth.
So are you saying it's not true that the Hubble-Lemaitre law is true?
Did you just now say? You just now said that the Big Bang is a fact.
Okay,
I don't care about the Hubble telescope.
I didn't
That's
ask
just
you
not
anything
true.
about the Hubble
Yes, you lied.
telescope.
The Hubble what then?
I did the Hubble-Lemaitre law. It's a law that describes the rate at which distant galaxies are retreating away from us. Do you just say that it's not true?
Is it a theory or is it a fact?
The Hubble-Lemaitre law is a law.
It's a law.
Yes, the Hubble-Lemaitre law is a law.
Would a law be under the definition of a theory or a fact?
Okay,
'Cause
so
told me
you
that
just
something that
simply
applies
will
to the
not
definition of a theory is
engage
a
with the
fact.
questions, so I'll just tell this
That's
to
not
you
true.
instead.
You just set out a trap to be able to, like, I guess.
No, it's not a
justify your
trap. What
lie.
I'm doing is,
But-
well, it's kind of a trap, but that's because you don't know what you're talking about. So I'm just walking you through the
Yeah,
logic.
says the guy who says theories are facts just because.
Well, they
you know
are, and
scientists
even you
think
believe
this.
that.
No, they're not, and no, I don't.
Yes, you do. Do you think that
never said
subatomic
that.
particles exist?
Subatomic particles? Yes, because that's not a theory, dog.
Yes, it is. Google
Quantum mechanics is-
Google atomic theory.
No. No.
Google atomic
Well,
theory. No, 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 no. Yeah, it's literally called atomic theory.
Good, dog.
It's literally called atomic theory, and quantum mechanics.
Good.
Yeah, there are different
Atomic
interpretations
theory?
of that. Yeah, it's called atomic theory.
Subatomic particles are true. We can observe them. We can
Yeah, how
observe
do you
them
know
again,
that?
my friend.
Yeah, you're claiming that based
How do
on
you know
the
that?
body of
weren't
scientific
there.
knowledge
'Cause I
that
can-
we call atomic
No.
theory.
That's not true.
Buddy, it's literally true. I teach this for a living. I know this. I don't know. I don't know what kind of like weird internet stuff you've consumed, and they taught you like if you ever find somebody and they say that the Big Bang is true, it's false because it's just like I don't know like what weirdo content you consumed and you thought you had a point to make, but you're literally a contradiction. So sorry, I don't know what
You
to
can
tell you.
demean me, but that's only just a show of your arrogance. And you can mock me and sound like a child, like we were 10, but that only goes to show your behavior.
It doesn't matter because I'm right and you're wrong. So, like
Jesus.
you can call me mean.
hear
I don't
yourself?
care because I'm right and you're wrong. So,
Do you hear yourself?
fucking cry me a river.
You're the one crying.
You're the one that thinks that atoms exist. That
You just
you're the
now
one
told
that
me
says
they do.
atoms exist
Atoms
is a
do exist.
factual statement, and
Yes.
didn't realize that entire premise is a scientific theory. And then you go around saying that theories
Quantum
aren't
mechanics
true.
is not a theory.
Yes, it is.
Quantum mechanics is not a theory.
Yes,
It's not
it
the
is.
Theory of maybe quantum mechanics is real. No, it's not. There's certain parts of it that's unexplainable.
Jorge,
but in
are
a
you
sense, there
Jorge?
things that
Are
we can
you
observe
here
that's
still?
true.
No.
Like we can't observe gravitons. We can definitely observe atoms.
We don't know if gravitons even exist.
Yes.
Quantum mechanics is a. So, do you think that it's true that how do I say this? Like the closer you get to a black hole, time moves at a different speed. Do you think that that's factual?
Do I?
Yeah.
That's theory.
So, do you think that the faster you move through space, the slower you move through time?
Do I believe that?
Yeah. Do you think that that's true?
Could be true. That's how theories work.
So, do you think that atoms exist?
Yes.
How come you didn't say maybe?
Because we can observe atoms.
No, you
We can
can't.
observe that. Yes, we can.
No, atoms
have
are
instruments
smaller
that-
than wavelengths of
We
light.
have instruments that allow us to.
We literally don't.
We have instruments. Okay, let me ask you a question. So the Bluetooth that connects my AirPods to my phone, can I observe that with my eyes, or do I have an instrument that allows me to know that observation is based on something true that's happening?
You can't observe
Yes.
them directly.
So
what you can
I
do
know
is
that there's because
you-
of the instruments I'm holding, but you can't.
wow.
do
So you asked me a question, then you wouldn't let me answer. So you can't observe them. What you can do is you can build scientific tools to study them. You can use those scientific tools or whatever to make predictions, and those predictions are based on your model that's supposed to describe some aspect of it. And if it comes true, then you can say with confidence, aha, this is how it works. Like the nucleus of an atom. Nobody's ever seen the nucleus of an atom. Nobody ever will. Before Rutherford did his gold foil experiment, people didn't really know what the structure of the nucleus was like, or if there even was a nucleus, but his experiment was consistent with the idea that there is a localized, very small, positively charged region of an atom, and therefore the negative region of the atom surrounds it. So now we know, we can say it's true that the nucleus of the atom exists, even though it's never been directly observed and never will be directly observed.
Might I
So
ask you a
all
question
these
then?
things are what you consider facts, but they are theories confirmed by indirect observations and experiments.
All right, thank you for that, because you had just now said that the Big Bang is a fact, but it's
Yep.
actually a theory based on indirect yada yada yada.
Yeah,
So wouldn't that
exactly,
just be you disproving
exactly the
yourself?
same as atoms. Exactly the same as
Okay,
atoms.
yeah, it's
So I have
exactly
no
the same as
problem
atoms.
with your
I mean, it's
position on the
completely
Big Bang
different, but
if you will concede that you don't really think that atoms do exist, but they might exist.
I think that it's when it comes to atoms compared to the Big Bang, I think it's a big difference. But I like for you to make that connection. That's a pretty big leap that aids in only proving that what you just now called as a fact is actually a theory. So the Big Bang is a fact. It's not true.
Yep, we
You
know
lied through
that the
your
universe
teeth.
is expanding. Do you agree or disagree?
You lied through your teeth.
We know that the universe is expanding. Do you agree or disagree?
Why do you not touch up on that?
We know that the
You said
universe is
Big Ba-
expanding.
the Big
Do you
Bang a
agree?
fact?
I
We can see that
am
it's not a
now
fact.
kind of pretty sure you think the earth is flat.
Kind of pretty sure, like all your other thoughts.
So you think the earth is flat. Okay, that's why it's impossible to talk to you.
You have no clue what I think.
Well, you think the earth is flat.
You have no clue what I think.
All right,
You make
well,
assumptions.
let's see. Dude, your profile, your bio says, "Don't make me show you why I'm the alpha." That's your fucking bio on your profile. I tried to see if you had any videos to see if you had any like flurf content or something, but that's all I saw. Don't make me show you why I'm the alpha. Oh man, that is so
funny, huh?
funny. So, do you think that the universe is expanding?
Do I think that the universe is expanding?
Yeah.
Is it a theory?
So it's a yes or no question.
So it could be, no?
Yeah, this is a yes or no. This is what you believe. I'm asking what you believe. I'm not
well, it could
asking
be.
you,
It's a theory.
oh, will you pretty please just accept what I say? I'm asking you what you think. Do you think that the universe is expanding?
I believe that it could be.
Okay, well, I don't know how to talk to you then. Could you tell me something scientific that
you're
you
just
think
making fun
is
of me.
factual?
Scientific that I think is factual.
Yeah, could you tell me
I have
something?
a lot of my own personal beliefs.
Are you a scientist? Have you ever experimented on them?
No.
Okay, then why do you have your own personal like it's fine, but how confident are you in your personal theories?
My personal theories?
Yeah.
I'm very open-minded.
So the question was, how confident are you in your own personal theories?
I'm confident enough to know that I'm only human. I think
So the
therefore I
question was, how confident are you in your own personal theories?
am. In my own personal theories?
This
I
guy
have
has
100%
he
confidence
has
that I could be
no
wrong in anything.
he has no under comprehension or awareness of his own claims. I've never seen this before. So, do you think it's more likely to be true or false what your personal theories are?
More likely to be... Yeah, I believe they're more likely to be true, yeah.
Okay, why?
Why?
Yeah.
I went down lots of rabbit holes. I was atheist for a while. I was Christian for a while. I was spiritual for a while. I tried some other things. Tried to
Okay.
get closer to God.
So I believe that on the opposite side of Pluto, there's a race of super leprechaun unicorns, and they all have red jet skis. Now let me tell you why I think that's true. I used to live in South Dakota, and then I moved. I also used to be in the 4th grade. I ran track and field in college. I have parents. Do those sound like good reasons to believe in some made-up personal theory?
All right, so you're pretty much just going back and you're just
You're pretty
proving
much not
everything I
giving
told you from
me.
the very beginning.
You have no
No, I mean, you
verifications.
just interrupted me. You have no clue what I'm gonna say right now.
Well,
So
I
let's say that
actually
there's a
don't really
pie,
care
right?
because you're just giving
Let's say there's
me
a
the
pie.
runaround and just not being honest at all. So
Let's say
you have your own
you
personal
have no.
theories,
What
but
did
you
you
have
want me to say?
no validation of any of them. You just told me, well, I used to think this and I used to think that. So you just seem like the kind of person that believes what you believe because you believe it,
Are
and
you done yapping, or
and you
am I
just
able to
make up
converse?
your own
I
weird
didn't say
theories.
anything. You have no
Yeah,
clue
you
what I'm
did.
about to say.
I asked you, why do you think it's more likely what you
You are a
believe is
very
true than
clueless
false?
person.
And you said, I used to be an atheist and then I read the
Would I be able
Bible
to
or
answer your
something.
original question?
Yeah. Why do you think on what
I want
grounds
to go back to what you.
do you
I mean,
think
can
that
get
your
into
ideas
another
are true?
question, but all right.
No.
But to answer your
Um,
original question,
yeah. So the question is, on what grounds, what reason do you,
no, that
what,
was not
what
the question
evidence
that
do you
you
have
had.
to, let me stop being so complicated. What evidence do you have to back up what you believe in?
Would I be able to talk? Because I
Yeah.
was trying to say something
The
a
question
long
is,
time
what
ago.
evidence do you have to
So
back
let's
up
say
what you believe in?
you can't. You're trying to make a new question, so I have to say something else. No, I want to finish my original point, then you can ask another.
No, that's literally not going to happen, and you can rage quit for all I care. So what evidence do you have to back up your personal theories? Ew. Ew.
Wait, what's it?
What evidence do you have to back up your personal theories?
My chest ripping through my shirt is ew.
Bro thinks he's an alpha. What what evidence do you have to back up your personal theories?
Why'd you say ew when you see me?
What what evidence do you have to back up your
Are you making
personal
fun of me?
theories?
Confidence is silent and insecurities are loud.
What evidence
have
do you
no
have
right
to back
with
up
that
your
hairline.
personal theories?
No right to say ew. Your beard is not grown full. You have no right.
I cut this part on purpose. What evidence
It's
do
still
you
patchy
have to
everywhere.
back up your personal
You
theories?
don't have to explain yourself. Just don't say ew to other people who look better than you. What evidence do I have to back up my theories? Let's say that there's a pie in a glass box in between you and I.
Oh
And
my
you
fucking
say,
god, what is it doing? What evidence do you have? Don't tell me about imaginary fucking pie in a
I don't
glass
know, are you
box.
gonna interrupt me again and ask me another
Yes!
question when
If
I'm
you
gonna
don't
answer?
answer the question by giving me evidence, don't give me some weird thought experiment about pie in a glass box. What evidence do you have?
We
None.
compare biceps.
Can we compare
We compare
biceps?
Let's compare stomachs. Let's compare stomachs. Would I be able to say my original thing? No, come on.
Oh man!
You're
All
very
right, all right,
intelligent.
all right. You want to get a glimpse of the meat machine here, huh? Huh? Is that what you wanted? Is that what you wanted? You want some of these?
The meat machine
huh?
is right
I call
over your
these.
neck
I
here.
call this crime and punishment, law and order, huh? You like
Your
that?
throat is the meat machine.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And you're mean. You're the first person I've ever seen who had big biceps just because of fat. That's funny.
Fat? I'm not fat. Well, I mean, I could lose a little bit of weight, but I wouldn't call myself fat.
You
So,
could.
like, you have no
higher
evidence,
IQ.
right? You have no evidence?
No evidence? I mean, would I be able to tell you what I was going to say? Are you going to keep on interrupting me?
Imagining a pie in a glass box is not evidence. So you have your own personal
I have no
theories.
clue what I was about to say.
What evidence? Because that couldn't possibly be evidence. Evidence is like if I say, there's a tiger outside, and you say, oh, prove it. And I say, well, when I was 9 years old. So that's obviously not evidence, right?
I haven't been able to talk because you've been yapping.
You know what? I will promise not to say something for exactly 1 minute. What
Nice.
evidence do you have
Can you handle
to
this?
back up your personal beliefs?
I want to say what I was going to say. I'll answer that question, but stop making it circular. I was gonna say, let's say that there's a pie inside of a glass box in between you and me, and I say, this has got to be a cherry pie, and you say, no, this is gonna be a blueberry pie because I could smell it through the glass, and I say, no, the glass is airtight. You can't smell the blueberry. There's no way. But statistically speaking, cherry pies are more common than blueberry pies, so it has to be cherry. So although you have your reasonings believing why the pie is a flavor, I have my reasonings behind believing why the pie is a flavor, but neither of us really know. So you can't say that something's a fact, especially if neither of us know. I was under the assumption that an observation could in turn make a fact, because an observation is a lot different from a prediction. You can observe an atom with instruments. You can't observe an instrument going through a black hole. You can only make a prediction of it. So although it's still a theory, you could still have way better reasoning for it behind why you believe something.
You did that with 5 seconds to spare. So the question was, what evidence do you have to back up your personal beliefs?
I don't need any evidence. I have nothing to prove.
There you go. I don't need any evidence either. You're an NPC. You're one of the lizard people. You're an idiot. You have literal
You're a
poop
fat
in your
neckbeard.
pants, and I don't need evidence.
And
Well,
you're
see,
a
I can
fat
disprove that
neckbeard.
because I can disprove that. See, unlike you, I have evidence. Isn't that great?
If you
All right,
shaved,
have a
would you
shitty life.
be
Go fuck
confident still?
yourself. What a fucking weirdo.